I'm so grateful. I mean, I don't, it's 6 o'clock. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6 o'clock and time for us to begin our meeting. Thank you. Good evening to you, and welcome to this special called meeting of the Richmond City Board of Commissioners. This is a special called meeting. Our regular meetings are the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month at 6 p.m. with a workshop regular meeting at noon on the third Thursday each month. Because we had a couple of matters we wanted to consider, we're having this special called meeting, which includes accommodation for a public hearing. We'll hear more about that in a moment. The regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners will still be held on tomorrow, which is the fourth Tuesday of the month, and we will follow through with our regular agenda at that meeting. This, again, is a special call meeting. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Cole.
Here.
Commissioner Goebel. Commissioner Newby.
Here.
Commissioner Brewer.
Here.
Mayor Blythe.
Here, thank you. The matter of public hearing procedures, which is, and are there copies of the agenda in the pocket?
There were, but we had a run.
Oh, all right.
So I need to make more copies.
The public hearing procedures. Mr. Attorney, will that be covered by you this evening?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Please, sir.
As with most legal cases, they tend to settle one way or the other just before the judge takes the bench. And
sir.
something similar has happened here today. So the public hearing in its initial form, where we're going to be hearing testimony on both sides, will not be going forward. I'll explain why here shortly.
Yes, sir.
We can still, as part of the public hearing, if the audience wants to, after we take the action we need to take, if they want to address that, I think that's something that would be allowable. But of course, being on vacation last week, everything gets interesting just before you're coming back. But we received an email on Friday from Preston Worley, who is the representation for Richmond Place LLC. And he communicated to Mr. Meinrich, the city manager, that the developers are withdrawing the zoning request at this time. For the purposes of the resolution that I will be going over here shortly.
Yes, sir.
It'll explain it a little bit more in detail as to procedurally why we're having to do a resolution, because what the statute states is that anytime the Planning Commission forwards a zoning recommendation, good, bad, or indifferent, to the Board of Commissioners, you all have 90 days to act. And you have to affirmatively act, yay or nay, yes or no, approving of that. And the issue with a withdrawal is that is neither final action one way or the other. And I have seen situations, and not that Mr. Worley is an attorney of this cloth, but I have seen situations where there have been developers and attorneys that will have said, hey, I think we're going to withdraw that, but believe you me, on the 91st day, they said you didn't take action, therefore the planning, the zone change takes effect. So I wanted to have a definitive action taken by the board this evening.
Thank you, sir.
That allows for the withdrawal, but also protects the residents of Amberley Way going forward and the city. So if I may, with the mayor's permission, I would like to proceed with the resolution.
Yes, sir.
This is Resolution 26-01, a resolution of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, Board of Commissioners regarding the zoning map amendment application of Richmond Place LLC for property located at Amberley Way, consisting of approximately 21.863 acres. Whereas Richmond Place LLC filed with the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission an application for a zoning map amendment for property located at Amberley Way, consisting of approximately 21.863 acres in Richmond, Kentucky. And whereas the property is presently zoned B1 Neighborhood Business and P1 Professional Offices and is currently vacant land, and the applicant requested that the zoning classification be amended to B3 Highway Business. And whereas the initial vote of the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission on the requested zoning map amendment resulted in a tie vote. And whereas on May 14th, 2026, the Planning and Zoning Commission reconsidered the matter, granted the requested zone change, and adopted findings of facts and conclusions of law, thereby forwarding the matter to the Richmond Board of Commissioners for final action. And whereas KRS 100.211, the Board of Commissioners is required to take final action to approve or disapprove the Planning Commission's recommendation within 90 days, and the failure to act within that period results in the Planning Commission's recommendation being deemed final as a matter of law as recognized by the Kentucky Supreme Court in Evangelical Lutheran Good Samaritan Society Incorporated versus Albert Oil Company Incorporated. That is a Kentucky Supreme Court case from 1998. And whereas on Friday, June 19th, 2026, counsel for the applicant, Preston C. Worley Esquire, emailed the Richmond City Manager, Rob Meinrich, a written notice purporting to withdraw the zoning map amendment application on behalf of Richmond Place LLC with the stated intent of filing a new zoning change application at a later date. And whereas KRS 100.3475 defines final action as the calendar date on which the vote is taken by the local legislative body to approve or disapprove the matter pending before it within the statutory 90-day period. And whereas the applicant's unilateral withdrawal request is neither an approval nor a disapproval by the Board of Commissioners as defined under KRS 100.3475, and therefore does not constitute final action, does not toll or stop the statutory 90-day deadline, and does not dispose of the matter currently pending before the board. And whereas a resolution is a sufficient form of expression for the legislative body's action when rejecting or overriding a recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission, as recognized by the City of Linden versus Proud, which is a Kentucky appellate case from 1995. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Richmond, Kentucky Board of Commissioners as follows. 1, the Board of Commissioners hereby acknowledges the attempted withdrawal submitted by counsel for the applicant, but finds that such a withdrawal does not constitute final action under KRS 100.3475 and does not remove the matter from the board's consideration. 2, the Board of Commissioners, having reviewed the withdrawal request, hereby rejects the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission regarding the requested zoning map amendment for the property located at Amberley Way, consisting of approximately 21.863 acres, to the extent that the rejection is based on the wishes of the applicant to withdraw their application. 3, because this denial is based on the voluntary withdrawal by the applicants, final action is still required by the Board of Commissioners, but the 2-year moratorium on a future zone application found in KRS 100.213 subsection 2 will not apply based on the voluntary withdrawal of the application. 4, this resolution constitutes the final action of the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners on the zoning map amendment application as required by KRS 100.211 and KRS 100.347 sub 5.
Thank you, sir. We've heard the reading then of this resolution as recommended by the attorney, Resolution 26-01. May we have a motion, please, to bring this to the floor at this time for discussion and approval?
I move.
Commissioner Newby,
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, is there any discussion, anything, Mr. City Manager, that you wish to discuss this time, any of the commissioners?
You mean to the people or about the, I mean, I don't, discuss to the people before this or what?
I have,
Regarding the resolution.
I mean, my address would be to the people, not to the
Okay.
commission. So you mean
if I may ask our city attorney a question here, Mayor, about the
Yes, sir.
2-year moratorium. You said that with the voluntary withdrawal,
Yes, sir.
there's no 2-year.
It's a weird aspect of the law requiring the final action on a withdrawal, and my understanding from talking to Mr. Meinrich and in other cities is that it's not uncommon for withdrawals to happen. Again, we still have to take the final action here by the resolution, but generally the 2-year moratorium would apply at once the hearing has been completed and is submitted to you all for that final decision making. So that's a bit of a wrinkle on this, that the 2-year moratorium under the statute would not apply because there was a withdrawal.
If the application wouldn't have been withdrawn and it would have been brought to you tonight in a hearing, and you all would have voted no against the rezone, then that 2-year moratorium would go in place for them to not be able to bring it back for a rezone for 2 years, right?
That, yes.
Yeah.
So what are we asking for a resolution if there's no end to what is a,
We're closing a loophole that won't allow for an attorney to come back. If we didn't
you're
pass.
talking about the 91.
Right, if we
90
didn't pass a
days.
resolution and it got beyond 90 days, Chris, from his experience in municipal law, has seen other attorneys circle back and say, well, the commission didn't make a final resolution or judgment on the rezone, and therefore the planning and zoning, what they determined was a good zone was approved. So we're closing a loophole for them not to come back and say, you all didn't take final action. What you're doing tonight is accepting the withdrawal of the application.
So is our final action, putting this to rest tonight for, not to come back up unless they bring it up and then we come back and do it, all this again?
They would have to start at the planning and zoning board again. So it wouldn't come back to you all. They would have to start all over again at the planning and zoning board level.
It seems, I'm sorry, Mayor, I'm
No,
taking,
go ahead.
it seems to me like we're just sort of slowing this down and not getting rid of it. I mean,
Well, I mean, I agree with that position. However, we're faced with a situation where, you know, the applicant has affirmatively said, we want to withdraw it. And I think most cities I've worked with over the years would say, okay, if you want to withdraw it, you can withdraw it, and don't take the additional action that I'm asking here today, which is that a vote be taken on the record to where on day 91, they can't come back with something.
whichever day comes,
No, go ahead, and then I'm gonna.
whichever day comes up first, 91, or they decide
Yeah.
to bring this back in front of us. Again, it's not going to change the fact of what is out there now. The residents, the congestion, all of those things that we're playing, they're not going to go away. So my point is, why don't we just get rid of it?
Well, and that's what that's the withdrawal, the implication with that. And
This
again,
isn't a decision of ours.
Well, you're asking, what's asking of us is that we protect the residents and we protect the city
yes,
from this, by using this resolution.
yes, sir.
That's correct.
Yes, sir. That is correct. The resolution is required because you all have to take some final action within 90 days. If you don't do anything, then the decision by the Planning Commission is going to control. And that decision was we're okay with this development going forward. My suspicion is that this withdrawal is so the developers are backing up 10 yards to punt to come up with something that is more palatable to the residents, to where we're not going to be faced with this outcry.
And that's why I brought up the fact that it doesn't change that we have all the congestion, we have that area is, and I think Commissioner Newby brought the fact up. We're not talking about traffic, we're talking about everything that's there. We can't put something else there. That's not going to change.
I understand
And
that.
in a year from now, that's not going to change. So
It's private property, and it's up to the developer how they handle this. They withdrew the application, so we're following KRS.
and then they'll go back to planning and zoning first.
If they decide to come
Yeah,
back with a rezone.
once we-
And the thing, excuse me, Jim, just one, and really then what we're dealing with here in the conversation is if. What I wanted to ask you then is, should we perhaps not just deal with the matter that is before us, which is accepting the withdrawal? We saw the stipulation here that perhaps someday, but what's before us is, right now, accepting the withdrawal.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes. And again, my understanding has been that this has been something that the city's practice has been previously, was just to allow the withdrawal without requiring the resolution as a protection for the city, to where, if, the 90 days runs, we've at least taken final action, even though this is by resolution, which is allowable. I think if and when there is a resubmission or a proposal, It is not going to be interstate business. B3 is going to be something with less impact, but whatever that is would be properly before the Planning Commission, because I think one of the issues that became apparent during this process was that when Mr. Worley was being asked very valid questions, such as the hotels, car dealerships, oil change places, as the types of businesses that would be suitable for a B3, they didn't really have a ready comeback as to what was going in. And that, it's hard to disprove a negative at that point. So I think, and again, I'm hesitating to speak on behalf of Mr. Worley in this situation, but the onus is on the developers to now figure out something that would be palatable to the residents. And that is, I think that is what they are working on right now.
Okay.
Well, I'm not an
That's why I said what I said.
Yes.
Commissioner?
Well, I'm not an attorney, so I understand that language, but
Yes.
I'm a redneck, but I'm a cultured redneck.
Okay?
And, if we go to this zone, the B3, they can say, once we zone it for that, there's a broad area of what they can do with that.
Yes, sir?
And when he gets up here and he says, well, we don't know what we're going, that's a bunch of crap. You know what you're going to do or you wouldn't buy it.
Well, but I think, and again, I don't want to be in a position where I'm arguing on behalf of the developers in this.
Sure, I understand.
But my understanding is this is property that has been undeveloped for decades. And it's property they own, they're trying to figure out a use for it. So I don't disagree at all with that position that,
I guess what I'm saying is they're not trying to figure out a use for it. They know what they're going to use it for.
See, and here's
Well,
the,
and-
Mayor, sorry.
Jim, you finish? You finish?
Well, for the moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we ask for this resolution to pass,
yes, sir.
is there any way in there that we can say that you brought this for us from B3?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want B3. Do we have to do findings of fact now?
Okay.
Or do we have to wait?
Because of the withdrawal motion that Mr. Worley made, and again, based upon my understanding of previous practice here in Richmond, is that those are granted, those withdrawals. Then my role to protect the city and the city's residents was to rely upon my experience, which is that we've got to pass something. And so, if the withdrawal is being made, and in the past, had we said, okay, we'll allow the withdrawal and go forward, this resolution is just the memorialization of that decision to allow it to withdraw. And again, candidly, if there is a resubmission, I'll state this on the record for everyone here, that if and when this is back before the Planning Commission, I think that the amount of folks that were at the Planning Commission when this initially was brought up, but again, the residents have the burden of proof in contesting this as well. So if there is a refiling, and again, I really don't think this will be B3, then I think what is expected of the parties as far as the decision-making process is better understood as well, as far as if there is a resubmission for something with less impact, because the same issues, I don't disagree, will be there as far as traffic and the other issues. But the instance, the example I'll use is that there is case law stating that the statements of residents alone as to traffic impact is not enough. You need to have a traffic study. You have to have something from a traffic engineer stating, here's the impact.
Right.
That's not in the record at this point. It'd be great if it was, hint, hint, if this is brought back up by somebody, as the type of fact findings that this body and the Planning Commission would need in order to make a legally sufficient findings of facts and conclusions of law.
I think we're getting in the weeds a little too far here tonight. I think we need to understand that the only option in front of you all tonight, in front of you, is to accept the withdrawal of the application that helps us close the 90-day loophole on the back end.
Yes, sir. That's why I made this statement I did. Thank you, Mr. City Manager. And if I'm not putting, no, it's not. on
No,
this.
go ahead.
This is your recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby,
We're accepting okay, yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you.
And
You
Mr.
should-
Mayor, we were
Yes, sir.
discussing about the public hearing as far as if the residents want to give comments at this time. I think that would be
And
in
you
keeping
want to do
with.
that at this time?
Yes, sir.
All right?
I'd like to make a little statement before.
Yes, sir.
'Cause I know you folks, you're frustrated, and you're frustrated about this, but you know what? If it's not gonna be this, it's gonna be something else. Something else is coming. So you're frustrated on the area. So that's why I think you need to speak. And, as far as this commission, all we ever hear is when a planning, zoning, meeting or something, or a hearing, well, just 2 or 3 showed up. But we got a whole room full here. And it shows that you all care and you're frustrated, and you have to live in that environment. And I hear, every time something like this comes before me, I hear 2 sides. I hear the side of the people that have to live there. They've invested, they have to live there, drive it, that's their life. And the other side, everybody's making money. Whether it's the lawyers, the builders, the contractors, they're making money. And if they tell you anything different, they're lying to you. That's insulting your intelligence. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. All right, now, the way we're going to do this, and Madam Clerk, what is the allowable time?
We'll just go with the 5 minutes.
The 5 minutes, all right, 5 minutes max. Those 5 minutes cannot be shared. It must be for the person who comes to speak. In other words, one person can't come and speak for 4. We ask you, please, to come to the podium. State your name, please, for the record.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Richard Douglas Brown, and my wife and I, we live at 149 Castlewood Drive. Respectfully ask that you vote no on an ordinance that you've already took action on. Let me begin by saying I'm not opposed to growth, as the Commissioner mentioned. I'm not opposed to business development. This corridor already is one of Richmond's most successful commercial areas. Amberley Way connects directly to the Eastern Bypass and is only a few traffic lights from Interstate 75 and provides access to Richmond Center. At one end of the corridor, as you may be familiar with, you have Circle K, the hotels, restaurants such as Texas Roadhouse, Steak and Shake, Starbucks, Panda Express, Chick-fil-A, retail businesses, and numerous other interstate-oriented commercial uses. The issue before you tonight is not whether commercial development belongs here. The issue is whether the city should remove a long-established zoning transition and replace it with an additional B3 business zoning. Richmond's zoning ordinance specifically recognizes different commercial districts for different purposes. B3 highway business is intended for highway-oriented commercial activity serving the traveling public. B1, that it is zoned now, along with P1, is for neighborhood business intended for less intensive commercial uses, or professional offices intended to serve as a transition and buffer between the more intensive commercial activity that's taking place and our residents on Amberley and Castlewood Drive. That transition already exists in that corridor. As you move away from Interstate 75, the zoning transitions are very apparent from B3, B1, P1 to the residential neighborhoods. That pattern was not created by accident. It was created through decades of planning decisions dating back to 1998. There's almost 30 years of this board's zoning facts on this. In fact, this same property was rezoned in 2017 from B1 and P to B1 and P1. If that zoning was inappropriate in 2017, my question is very simple. What's changed? Under Kentucky Revised Statute 100.213, the city must make its findings supporting a zoning map amendment. What major economic, physical, or social change has occurred since 2017 That now makes B1 and P1 inappropriate. The property was next to Interstate 75 then, as it is now. The property is near the Richmond Center, as it is now, was then. The property is surrounded by commercial development and residential. So what has changed? The applicant's primary argument appears to be that the property has been difficult to market and remains undeveloped. Respectfully, undeveloped property is not proof that zoning is inappropriate. Many properties remain vacant because owners choose not to develop them. Market conditions change, as we all know. Certainly financing changes have changed, or buyers cannot be found. That does not automatically justify more intensive zoning. I'm also concerned because the applicant admitted that there is no specific development plan exists. They are not asking for approval of a specific project. They are asking for broader zoning first and will determine later what might be built. That should concern every resident of Richmond. Once B3 is granted, the city loses significant control. Future owners receive those development rights regardless of what is being discussed tonight. I would also note that the Planning Commission was deeply divided. The motion before the Planning Commission was a motion to deny the rezoning. 3 commissioners voted to deny. The result was initially a 3-3 tie. Half the commission was not convinced that this should take place. Residents testified about traffic congestion, signal delays, red light running, truck traffic, pedestrian safety, neighborhood compatibility, and quality of life concerns. Yet, I have not seen a traffic impact study demonstrating the changing of these 21 acres to B3 would not worsen those conditions on Amberley Way, Barnes Mill Road, Eastern Bypass, or surrounding neighborhoods. Finally, zoning exists for a reason. You do not normally place the most intensive highway commercial zoning immediately next to a residential neighborhood without an appropriate transition. That is precisely why B1 and P1 exist. The current zoning pattern provides that transition. The applicant has not demonstrated why that transition should be removed. Finally, the applicant has not demonstrated what has changed since 2017. And the applicant has not demonstrated why the existing zoning is inappropriate rather than simply less profitable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Is there another?
Hi, Penny Frederick. We live at 101 Castlewood. We have lived there for 5 years. It is our beautiful retirement home. We have an 8-year-old granddaughter that lives in Tennessee. We chose to drive there once a month instead of move there. That's how committed we are to our neighborhood. And I want to thank you guys for at least considering voting this down. I don't ever want to come and speak in front of you again, and hopefully it won't be necessary. But thank you.
Thank you. Is there another?
Right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey.
You need my name and address.
I know.
And all that fun stuff. So anyway, so basically, I guess it comes to, you guys, we see this time and time and time again. The developers, they have all kinds of money. They have the lawyers, and they just say, we're going to pull it. But I mean, you look at all these people that have shown up, and it's not like they just jumped in a car and said, we're going to run downtown. You know, we've had meetings. People have knocked on doors. They've been all over Facebook, basically, come and help. And then, you know, it's kind of it's unrespectful, I guess, of these developers and the lawyers, actually, to do this. I mean, they've got the money to spend, and we don't. And so, you know, I guess that's one thing. The other thing is, I know that it was mentioned about previous practices that you all have accepted the withdrawals. So I guess when I'm asking you, is there something, and the lawyers there, is there something you can do that would allow you to pass an ordinance or something that says, look, if you withdraw something, you're going to have to wait a year to bring it back up, or some type of ordinance in that situation.
I
Now,
think I
Chris,
asked that.
I don't know that I want
Yeah.
to address any questions to
No,
the, but we'll take the question for the record, but
Yeah, no, I didn't mean.
yes,
but,
Debbie.
That's what I'm saying. Can you all consider a new ordinance that basically says, hey, you got to wait some time? Because, these people took time away from their families and everything to show up, and thank you, Commissioner Newby, for all your nice comments and everything. So, anyway, basically, oh, yeah. My husband kept me straight out here. I did have a detailed presentation that I put together, but I kind of know the way that Preston Worley works, and so I don't want to give him a heads up and let him know. So I guess when you guys are back up here again, The other thing I wanted to mention is that with Dr. Miller, Coy Perkins, as well as Dr. Short, I have the highest respect for them for coming forward and speaking for this and, and saying they had, the whole board had made a mistake. So I don't know if that has ever happened before, but, it took a lot for them to come up here, and I truly do appreciate it. And maybe it might be time to kind of look at different requirements to sit on the planning board. I know that you appoint and you all approve, but do you need a realtor on the board? What kind?
I'm going to do this, although this is public comments. Madam Clerk, Madam Parliamentarian, I'm going to take this as a parliamentary, personal privilege. In that, I recommend those who go on that board and the commission approves or not.
Right, correct.
I feel it was out of line for someone publicly who sits on a board to tell anyone else on that board they shouldn't be on it.
Okay.
That's me. But we are the ones who appointed.
Yeah.
So there is a way that we accommodate that at the time.
I
But
understand. I just,
But yeah,
public
that's,
comment,
I won't let any member of that board or anyone else put that board down because they've been asked by the people to representative of the people to serve.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
I mean,
Debbie.
I understand that. So, anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there another? Yeah.
So my name is Joe Shum, and I live on Amberley Way.
All right, last name, please. Last name.
Last name Shum, Joe Shum. It's S-C-H-U-M.
Thank you.
My wife and I bought in the Castlewood neighborhood about 18 months ago. We invested our life savings in a jewel of a home there in this nice neighborhood nestled away from the hustle and bustle of the city surrounding it. As I look at the proposal to move to B3, I think back when we drove to see this house before we bought it. If there had been a large hotel, a truck stop, or fill in the blanks with other B3 type businesses, I would have turned around and looked somewhere else. And the only thing that would have enticed me to come back and buy in that neighborhood is bargain basement prices. So I'm very concerned about loss of value in the property that I just bought. So, of course, I'm not in favor of moving to B3.
Thank you, Mr. Shum. Thank you. Is there another? Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name's Ed Brown. I've had the privilege of meeting a lot of these people in the last bit, and they are a credit to this community. And I want to thank them all for being here. It matters. Thank you very much. I also, like Ms. Vesio, I had notes ready to go, things ready to say, and I'm not going to say any of those things. I want to say something else. I want to thank you all, first of all, for having this special meeting. I think it matters this way. I want to go a different route. Several years ago, I had the privilege of meeting a man who lived at the time in this community, and some of you may have met him, and his name was Bob Yerkes. He was a retired Army Lieutenant General, and he gave a leadership seminar for high school juniors of about 30 schools. And I was asked, at the time, I was an awful lot younger, I was working at Model, and the director asked me to accompany our juniors to that seminar, and they were a very impressive group of young people. General Yerkes was decorated 23 times for valor in combat. He earned 7 Bronze Stars, 2 Silver Stars, was nominated for the Congressional Medal of Honor, was wounded twice, once in Korea, once in Vietnam. I could go on and on, but he walked the walk. He never told about himself, but the other presenter had his bio, and one of the kids asked how he was wounded in Vietnam. He was already a general then. Generals don't go into combat. And the story was that he was flying from point A to point B in a helicopter, and there was a whole convoy of craft. And they got a message from the ground that a squad had been ambushed, and one young soldier was severely wounded and needed to get out immediately or he would die. General Yerkes did not hesitate for a moment and ordered all the helicopters, including his own, into the fight. And the man did live. The squad was rescued. They lost some people, but General Yerkes was wounded. One of the kids from another school asked him, and this is what young people will say, well, why'd you do that? You could have ordered somebody else to go in there. You were a general. And I'll never forget what he said. I think I got more out of it than the kids did. He said, if you take care of your people, everything will work out. And if you don't take care of your people, nothing you do will be of consequence. And I think and that matters, and it's true. It's such a simple thing, but it seems so difficult in the world that we live in now. It's all about me, me, me. I appreciate the fact that you all held this meeting. That's a step. That's a very positive step, and you deserve our thanks. But moving forward, we need to put people at the top. These are people that we shop with. They're people that we send our kids to the same schools. We go to the same concerts. We worship with on the weekends. These are our friends and neighbors. They need to be put in first place, and that matters. So again, thank you for doing this. We do have, we think, very serious points that we could make and defeat this gormless proposal that never should have gotten to your desk. But please continue to think about the people. You have some fine people here who came out to stand up, not just for themselves, but for one another, and they deserve your consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Attorney, you have an agenda in front of you. Did I jump the gun? These are public comments, is that right?
Well, it's
Not officially sworn testimony?
no, I mean, had this been the public hearing, yeah, I would have been swearing them in, Mr. Mayor, but given that, there's kind of a curveball in the 11th hour from the developers on this, I wanted, obviously, for what Ed was saying earlier, out of respect for all the attendees, they deserve their day in court too. So it's not public comment. They are giving their statements as to the public hearing, which has been taken off. So I realize this is complicated, but that's what we're doing.
Just call me down if we're legally out of order. That means that item number 3, ordinance 26-19, what will we do to handle that since it's on the agenda?
It has been removed by the official action of the passing of the resolution.
The resolution. Thank you, sir. Just for the record. Thanks. Anyone else now? Yes.
I'm Diana Botner. I live at 1088 Amberley Way. I want to thank you all for giving us this time to share our concerns, and I appreciate the work that you do and that you do care.
Thank you.
In the vision plan, the vision statement that you have in the comprehensive plan says this statement: Richmond is a vibrant, welcoming, and safe community with a distinctive character, celebrating history and high-quality public safety services. Richmond offers thriving businesses, strong educational opportunities, diverse recreational amenities by supporting responsible growth that meets the needs of the neighborhoods. We are a neighborhood. We love each other. We care for our property. We care for this city. We are contributors to this city. We have worked here. We pay taxes. We support you all. We care for our homes. We are proud of our homes. We've worked hard to have the situation that to have the homes that we have. And we just want you to consider that this is important. And this is your opportunity to say, not just to our community, but to the city of Richmond, to all the residents here, that you care about the residents, that it's not just about business. I know that businesses raise taxes and things too, but we are all homeowners. We pay property taxes, we shop here, we buy here, we live here, we go to the grocery stores here. We are your biggest supporters. And we just really want our area to stay as close to it as it is and can. And we thank you very much for
Thank you, Ms. Botner.
that consideration.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? I guess that means then perhaps those who have spoken have really given the consensus of the group that is here. Is that and we do, all of us, we do thank you for coming. This is what's this, Tammy? Democracy at work?
Yes, it is.
Don't you love it? And certainly appreciate the commissioners in the task that is before us. And but certainly I won't speak for everybody, but we do care much for the citizens of Richmond. That's and as we're growing, very non-technical term, like mad. Lots of things we're considering along the way, and we have to. So we appreciate hearing from you and not just assuming what you're thinking. We appreciate that very much. Mr. City Manager, that's all we need to do regarding that matter tonight,
Yes, sir.
then?
That's it.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is ordinance 26-23. We'll pause for a second for those who want to leave.
Lisa, how do we want to open up the discussion when we read here? Let me do that, I'll jump in.
Yeah, I'm like,
Let me jump in right quick.
Is that my card? Pick a card, any card?
yeah, without giving an number
Yeah.
out.
Draw straws.
Oh, there she is right there, yeah.
Yes, indeed. We'll ask you please to take the conversations out into the lobby. Thank you. We have further business to attend to. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah,
Jerry.
got you.
I'm gonna win the restroom.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
So we don't have to pay co-counsel anymore, right? It's right there on your computer?
What's that?
Co-counsel?
You know,
Oh, no, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a whole separate search.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know how that works, to be honest. So,
Figure it out.
Yeah.
we're paying for it, I better use it.
What you doing, Mr. Marbley? Thumbs up?
Now, Sharon, if you're up here to talk about a zone change, take your seat.
Defend yourself, Sharon. I've got an easier project.
Ooh, she has an easier matter to bring. Oh, my. All right, and a hush follows over the, follows over the crowd. You want to wait till he gets back, Mr. City Manager? Yeah, please. Here he comes.
Maybe I should go. I will. No, I'm all right. He's here. I was going after you. No,
No.
going.
City Manager wanted to say something. We want to make sure everybody was here when he
Mayor, before we read the ordinance, the first reading of the budget ordinance, I've had a couple of you all come to me about the 3% increase in cost of living adjustment. And when we originally ran the numbers, we ran a 2%, a 3%, a 4%. We landed in the middle with a 3%. But it's been brought to my attention that may want to be adjusted up to a 4%. So I'd like to open the discussion among you all so we know which ordinance to read. We got one tonight for 3% and one for 4%.
I would just begin the discussion, if you would allow me, please, with one question.
Yes, sir.
Can we afford it? That's not rhetorical. Can we afford it?
Both of you gonna answer
Now,
that?
with
or-
that in mind,
Jared and I look at each other like,
you actually ran the budget with the 4
Yes.
and with,
And it fits into the budget with a 4%.
It fits into the budget. The difference between a 3% and 4% overall was about $230,905. So,
all right,
More.
thank you, Sharon, thank you. All right, what questions?
Well, I would like, first of all, I want to thank Lisa and Rob and Sharon for running that up for me and
Yeah.
figuring those three. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You did it in a timely manner for me, too.
well, I think this got everybody's attention when Bria did a 4%. And we all filled up at the gas station. And I know mine's gone from $42 to $78. So people are paying
Yeah.
groceries don't even cheap.
Tell me about it.
Go ahead, yes, sir.
Thank you. When we left the budget meeting we had, I went to you and asked, is there a way we can do 4%? Because I feel like our employees have been above average in doing what they do to help this city along. They worked very hard, and this past winter showed it. So I felt like that was the reason why I was asking for a 4% increase. Matter of fact, if you left it up to me, I would have said a 5. But I didn't want to, but I do think a 4% increase for our,
I'm comfortable with the 4. I will tell you, over the past 7 years, we have finally gotten our team members competitive with all the other
Right.
cities. We were way below the average 7 years ago, and we worked very hard. And if you look at the Kentucky League of Cities survey for wages and salaries during the city of now, so we're very competitive. And I think it shows in our departments because we have much less turnover.
Well, we've increased our percentage about 24% for
Over 6 years.
over 6, yeah. So, I mean, it shows that we care, and I think this will even show more that we care, that we increase this to 4%. That's just my opinion.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Oh, I
Commissioner.
totally agree. And the other thing that we can't forget about that's going to help our employees' bottom line as well, in addition to the 4%, is the fact that you reminded us in our work session that insurance rates have gone up.
Yes.
And that we agreed as a commission that we want to fill that gap within our budget and not pass that forward to our employees. So I think you told us that was 8.93% that our insurance rates were going up.
That's correct.
So I'm so pleased that we can absorb that within our budget and not pass it on to our employees. That hurts.
$53 per employee per month.
In doing,
Didn't we do that last year too, though? We swallowed it a second.
Rates in 8 years, so.
Yeah.
in doing so, we are giving something that smells like 5, maybe.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
That's exactly, that's a great
Yeah.
point.
So see now, Robert, you don't feel so bad for me asking you for that 6%. I tried.
Anybody else? All right, let's see, what are we doing?
So I would ask that Sharon read the ordinance first reading for our fiscal year 27 budget with, that includes the 4% pay increase for employees.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
An ordinance of the City of Richmond adopting the annual budget for the City of Richmond for the fiscal year 2027, estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operations of city government. Whereas a budget proposal has been prepared and delivered to the City Commission, and whereas the City Commission has reviewed the budget proposal and necessary modifications have been completed as recommended. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2026 and ending June the 30th, 2027 is hereby presented as follows. In our resources available under the general fund, our total resources for appropriations is $71,072,543. Our appropriations is $57,043,362, leaving an ending balance of $14,029,181. In our contingency reserve fund, our beginning balance, our balance for total resources for appropriation is $31,375,000. We don't expect any appropriations out of that, with an estimated ending balance of $31,375,000. In our stormwater bond, our total resources for appropriations is $1,132,310. Our appropriations is $100,000 with ending balance of $1,032,310. In our Irving McDowell Fund, our appropriations is $354,032, and that is our resources for appropriations, and our appropriations is $100,000, leaving an ending balance of $254,032. In our municipal aid fund, our total resources for appropriations is $673,003. Appropriations is $672,200, leaving an ending balance of $803. In our federal funds, our total resources for appropriations is $147,984. Our appropriations is $60,000, leaving an ending balance of $87,964. In our capital projects fund, our total resources for appropriation is $7,206,159, with appropriations of $5,501,479, leaving an ending balance of $1,704,681. In our health insurance fund, our total appropriations is $4,214,920, And our expected appropriations is $3,849,320, leaving an ending balance of $365,600. In our workers' compensation fund, our resources available is $3,026,074, with appropriations expected of $500,000, leaving an ending balance of $2,526,074. In our Whitehall, our appropriations, resources available for appropriations is $294,976. Appropriations of $253,176, leaving an ending balance of $41,800. In our police and fire retirement fund, we have one participant. Our total resources for appropriations is $277,000, and we have an ending balance with appropriations of $20,032, with an ending balance of $256,468. In our CDBG account, community development, our total resources for appropriations is $200,109. Appropriations is $200,000, leaving a balance of $109. In our LLABG account fund, our total resources for appropriations is $157,000, and our total in our appropriations is $181,000, leaving an ending balance of $7,000. And in our state funds, our total resources for appropriations is $675,000, and appropriations are $350,000, leaving an ending balance of $325,000. In our Parks Project Bond Number 2, our total resources for appropriation is $1,383,135, and our expected appropriations is $1,378,206, leaving $4,929. In our Parks Project Bond 3, our total resources for appropriations is $14,461,367,000, and our appropriations is $14,461,266, leaving an ending balance of $101. In our opioid account, our total resources for appropriation is $867,855. Expected appropriations, $200,000, with an ending balance of $667,855. In our TIF downtown fund, our total resources for appropriation is $450,000, with expected expenditures of $100,000, leaving an ending balance of $350,000. In our debt service account, our total resources for appropriation is $5,419,955. Our appropriations is $5,419,544, leaving an ending balance of $411. And then in the tourism account, the total resources for appropriation is $1,060,000, and appropriations of $780,000, leaving a $280,000 ending balance. The 2027 fiscal year budget is hereby approved as submitted. The amounts stated above are hereby appropriated to the accounts indicated for the 2027 fiscal year budget. The city clerk is hereby directed to publish a copy of the fiscal year 2027 budget ordinance in accordance with KRS 424.240, and the ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon second reading and adoption and publication by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners.
Sharon, you do that as though you've done it before.
Well, a time or two.
And you didn't have to take a breath.
Yeah.
Thank you for reading that for us, and then certainly for the work that you and so many others have put into bringing that forward to us. Appreciate you. We've heard the reading of Ordinance 26-23. This is a first reading. We do not vote tonight. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion?
I move.
Commissioner Newby,
Second.
Commissioner Cole. Anything, first of all, Mr. City Manager, you want to address?
I was looking at old budgets, well, it was over the weekend, actually, Mayor, and your first year, your first term, our contingency reserve was $19 million. And today, over 7.5 years, 8 years, working on 8 budgets, we've grown that to, it'll be $31 million, which is 52.5% of our annual budget, and that's where they want us to be. So it's a tribute to you all's leadership to continue to grow our community, save money, be soluble with cash. But we have a lot of growth in our community right now. We've done a lot of projects in the past 5, 6 years, and we kind of are pumping the brakes to let some revenue catch up with us. But we financially are very sound for a city.
I'm glad you said that. Thank you. That was the reason why, and I was not being sarcastic when I asked, can we afford it? Because I wanted to hear you say that
right.
we're pumping the brakes, I think is the expression you used, that we might make sure that the revenues
Absolutely.
are keeping up with this pace. And one thing I waited for you to say while you talked about our revenues and the application of those is that we're doing our very best to take care of the needs of the people.
Yes.
That's the bottom line, to take care of the needs of the people. So thank you so much for all you've done. Let's see. We've got that motion and second. Any further discussion now from the board?
No, I just,
Comments, Mayor. Oh, you can go first.
I just wanted to, I don't have comments like you've got, but I want to thank Lisa. I want everybody,
Yes.
City of Richmond is a machine.
Yes.
And Lisa's the oil, and Sharon's the battery, because without either one of them, it doesn't moving. Go ahead, Tammy.
It is so hard to go with Commissioner Newby. I am nowhere near that entertaining, so yes, I'll do my very best. Just a couple things. I think I've been on the commission 3.5 years now. One of the things that you learn really quickly is that folks are very interested in planning, zoning, annexation, and the budget. And I'm so glad that they are, because everything that we do should be transparent and it's all public information, and I'm so glad about that. I did receive some questions, and I answered them to the best of my ability, but I always feel like it's a good idea to share that. And then if I have anything wrong, I hope that our city manager or city clerk will jump in and just make sure that I'm using the right language and everything. But a couple of questions that I had just revolved around any kind of partnerships with other, I call them government entities, other cities or counties. And my response was that to the best of my knowledge right now, there is no other cities or counties that we have funding in here for any economic development projects or anything else, other than some partnerships we have, which I think is something that we should all be proud of. The partnerships that we have in place, I view those as saving money, not in any way, doing anything different than that. So a few that I went through here and just highlighted that I wanted to share with folks, though, just in the sake of transparency. We do partner heavily with Madison County and Berea on some projects, and a couple of those, one is the airport, and it's my understanding that the city of Richmond's been a partner in that for a long, long time, and my guess is we will be for a long time in the future, but we do have funds in here to help support the Madison County Airport, along with EKU and Madison County and Berea.
That's right.
Good, got the first one.
That's right, yeah, yep.
And the other one is emergency medical services for our county. Again, it's my understanding, for a long time, we've partnered with Madison County and Berea and Richmond so that we can provide the best economical emergency medical care for our community that we possibly can.
That's correct.
And again, there's funding in here. And the other one, which has been a hot topic, is 911. And as a commission, we've talked about that a lot. And I know Madison County's talked about that a lot. I know Berea has. But with our budget for the next fiscal year, again, it's my understanding that the city of Richmond will absorb that for our community. And we're not saying that we're going to do that forevermore.
Right.
May or may not be able to. But for this budget that we're passing tonight, we can absorb that 911 fee and look at that in the future in terms of how we sustain that.
Yeah, we'll readdress that in the fall of this year, how we want to move forward in annual year 27.
The other one that's in here that we've talked about a lot, so there's no secret, but is the animal shelter. You know, the city of Richmond does not operate our own animal shelter. We partner/contract with Madison County to do so, and it's not cheap, but I can vouch for, we have some pretty serious issues in the city, and I'm sure the county as well in terms of, you know, just safety and dogs that are loose and those kind
Yeah.
of things, and so.
Kangaroos?
Thank you. I forgot the
But they
kangaroo.
find their way back home.
They found their way back home, which is good. And the other one, and again, one that we've partnered with for a long time, but there's some partnership in here between the Madison County PVA and the city of Richmond in terms of how we collect our taxes and share some
That's
database
correct.
kinds of things,
Yep.
correct?
Yep, that has to do with GIS flyovers for the PVA map. And then the GIS is now overlapping between the city of Brea, city of Richmond, and the county to where we have real-time information. So if we get approval from 911 or dispatch that we can name a road a certain name, and we put it in on our end, it uploads to the county and Brea real-time, so everybody knows that's up and going.
Thank you.
Yep.
And the other piece that we've included, again, that the commission has talked about, and I think feels fairly strong, that we want to support some of our nonprofits in our community as we can, you know, as we can do so without, in any way getting in trouble with sharing in the budget and that kind of thing. But we do have our $50,000 in this budget to have a competitive process like we did last year.
That's correct.
where Nonprofits in our community can do I'd call it a simple grant application.
Yeah.
And verify their nonprofit status with us and submit that information to the commission in terms of being able to, you know, it's not huge money, but it does help some of our nonprofits that have had some challenges lately in terms of, you know, their funding and so forth. And then just a couple other nonprofits that, you know, we've supported for years. But I just wanted to share that because I think it's important that people understand, you know, the city, we represent the city of Richmond. And while we love to partner with others, and anytime it makes sense to do so, I'm always willing to listen. But we are voted to represent the people of the city of Richmond, so I just wanted to share those partnerships that we have as well.
And
Well said, Commissioner.
Yeah, can I add just a little bit on to that? I really liked your statement there. I did.
Oh, my goodness, I hope this is
Because
good.
there are so many things, people don't, if they don't follow stuff clearly, because, you know, there's some partnerships out there in this area that they're making some unpopular decisions, and we are not
Yes.
part of. And,
Yes.
you know, and people need to know that.
Well, I think she said it best, too.
She did. I mean,
Yeah, is
I
that we've
wasn't,
had this going on for a long time, these partnerships. And maybe it should be time for us to step back and look at some of these partnerships
Yeah.
that we've done. I know 10, 12 years we've been doing some of these
Yeah.
partnerships with emergency services and 911 and
that was good,
you know,
Commissioner Cole.
so it's time, maybe, you know, it's important that we put ourselves out there, what we've accomplished, so.
Yes. But
Yes.
also letting everybody know that, hey, because, you know, people they see something and they assume.
Yeah,
And-
well, and let's just take pride in what we've done.
Exactly.
And for over many, many years that we've been doing these things together.
yeah.
So,
And something I didn't mention in my budget message, of course, I got home later that night and remembered it, but we did not include the $37,500 for Commerce Lexington this year. And the consensus of the elected officials was not to do that again. We've participated 2 years, which amounts to $75,000. We've not seen a return on investment. And I think you know we're blazing our own path here. It's not that we don't want to be partners. You know, we've been partners with the Bluegrass Area Development District for forever.
Ever.
And that represents, I think it's a 9-county area. So it's not that we're not for regionalism, but at the same time, we're ahead of the curve with our industrial sites and economic development. So we did not include that amount in this budget.
And then we had our transit, Kentucky River Foothills also.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Look at old Sharon chiming in down there.
That's another good partnership. Yep.
give other folks access to the community.
And
The transit.
I want to make it clear too, with the $50,000 that we were asked to put in for charitable donations, there's a fair process for that. We'll give a date of when applications are available. We'll give a date when applications are due, and then we'll bring those applications to you all, probably in a work session, to determine where those monies go to nonprofits and charities.
I think the process we did last year was perfect.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
the same way.
I agree.
Did we receive any of those by mail? I'm asking for a particular reason.
I don't know. Wanda collects those, so we'd have to ask
The
her.
reason I'm asking, let's see, I received my Father's Day card from my nephew that lives away today. It was postmarked there in North Carolina, the 10th.
Yeah, you're triggering another topic that Chris and I have talked about extensively, and actually, I had several people reach out to me this weekend about sending in their quarterly occupational taxes.
That's why,
On
yes.
time, but by the time it gets to Louisville and gets postmarked and gets back to us,
Yes, sir.
it's 3 or 4 days late. So Chris and I are looking at some options to give some leeway there. I know Sharon doesn't like that, but it's,
Yeah, that means you got to hold it open.
oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a time accountability in the issue. And the state, and we did put something on our website as well to remind everybody that the post office had changed their practices.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we have seen a delay in mail, even when we send out reminders or warnings or citations, that we might give a person 7 days to correct something. Well, they don't get it until the 6th day of the warning, so
Exactly.
we're looking at something to fix all that.
Thank you.
That's off topic, but you triggered something.
Well, but yeah,
Sorry
that's-
about that.
Other discussion.
Do what?
I'm working on online payments.
Yeah, online payments are helping too, yep.
That's the way folks are doing things these days. And I have to get one of my 14-year-olds at the church show me how. I literally do. Any further discussion? Again, we don't vote tonight. Sharon, thank you. Mr. City Manager, thank you. Thank you, Lisa, and all who will contribute. Thanks to the team, because it
Right.
took the team
Absolutely.
for their individual departments to get those budgets in and then
Yes.
included in the overall. So, thank you. All right. I think, is there anything else, Madam Clerk, that we need to attend? Nothing's come through the office, all right? Mr. City Manager, anything further? This is a special call, but
No, sir.
nothing further?
No, I'm good.
Commissioner? All right. And thanks again, in case they take a look at it, to all of those persons who came and contributed tonight to the testimony regarding the concern with the zone change. Blake, good to see you also tonight. Appreciate you, sir. And yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Appreciate the fine job you're doing. All hearts and minds clear? Chief and Deputy Chief of the Finance and Planning and Zoning and happy to have Representative Marbley here with us tonight. And just want to say the wonderful things you did for us, for the Commonwealth, yes, but for Richmond and Madison County, we are grateful.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're grateful. Kelly, anything else? All right. All hearts and minds clear. We will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second?
Commissioner Newby. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. And thanks to all of you